Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to our weekly call here at Red Earth. Matt Ham, so glad to be with you. For those who are live on the call, I know all of you, but these videos are going to be online for a while, so there's other folks who may have access to them, and we are glad that you are with us today, and certainly hope you're enjoying the archive of these calls that are here for you guys in your own life and your business and your career. To really help you stay centered, focused, encouraged as you move through the demands of the world around you. And we know that they are demanding, which is why we're here. So today, I'm real excited. We're going to start a new series, and it's going to be walking through the laws of teamwork. Now, we're using the framework of John Maxwell, longtime leadership teacher, to navigate this law of teamwork. But I want to set this up and talk about why teamwork is important, specifically in this realm of real estate. Now, you guys are all, or most of our clients and most of the teams that are with us are in private amenitized communities. You guys are realtors. And as a realtor, you know that you're kind of responsible for your own world. Like, this is my box, and I'm responsible to sell real estate from this box in this community, and this is how I operate. So it's very easy sometimes, I think, to fall into the trap of feeling like you've got to carry the weight on your shoulders. And even still, there's this competitive thing because you've got other agents in your neighborhoods, in your communities, and y'all are all trying to sell the same things. Then you've got competition with local brokerages, other neighborhoods, etc. And it can really force you into this mindset of bearing the burden on yourself and trying to do it all on your own. And so what we really culturally at Red Earth, you are an individual with an individual expression, and that is wonderful. We want to celebrate that, encourage it. And we've talked on videos before about learning what your natural giftings and inclinations are and tapping into them and making your business very personal to how you operate and function. However, you are also a part of a team. And it's not just the team at your communities, it is also the corporate team of Red Earth. And as we are building this culture and as this culture continues to grow, there is something to be said for being a part of the Red Earth culture. And that is one of teamwork. It's one of excellence. It's one of lifting each other up. It's one of being able to rely on someone else's experience, wisdom, understanding, success in order to feed our own. So this concept of teamwork may seem foreign to people that are in the real estate business, but it is absolutely and completely essential if you want to accomplish true success, lasting success, something that actually shifts not only your life, but the life of those around you. So the first law that John Maxwell unpacks in his laws of teamwork is the law of significance. The law of significance. And the point that he makes here is that one is too small of number to achieve greatness. One is too small of a number to achieve greatness. There's a story that kind of exists in folklore, and whether or not it's somebody's real story that's just been told over and over and over again, or whether it actually, did happen. So we don't know if this is a true story or if it's one of those kind of old wives' tales. But it's the story of a brick mason, a guy who's laying brick, and he had an insurance claim because he was injured, and he had to detail out his insurance claim. And so this gentleman, he's responsible for laying this brick, but the brick's on the fifth story of this building. And so he tries to accomplish this task by himself. How am I going to get these bricks downstairs? And he said in order to make it quicker and just get the bricks downstairs fast, he got a barrel or a box, a crate, and he put the bricks in the crate, and he set them up on the fifth story. And then he created a pulley system with a rope that he threw down to the ground. And he tied that rope off on the ground, and then he started loading the bricks in the crate. Then he goes back downstairs and he unties the rope. But what he realized at that moment is that the crate of bricks weighed 500 pounds to his 140 pounds. And so when the crate of bricks reacted with gravity, he started shooting up as the bricks came down. Now, he didn't have the capacity in the moment to let go of the rope. He just held on for dear life as he's flying vertically. Well, as he gets to the top of the building with the pulley system, his thumb gets caught in the pulley, and it breaks his thumb. And so at that moment, the bricks hit the ground and the bottom falls out of the crate. Well, once that happens, the bricks are no longer in the crate, and the crate then only weighs 40 pounds to his 140 pounds. So he goes falling back to earth with gravity, and the crate begins to pass him on the way up. And so he comes down and he hits the pile of bricks, which causes him to break his ankle and get a bunch of significant bruises and bodily injury, because the man's on this joyride now. And then once he hits the ground, he finally lets go of the rope. Well, at that point, this 40-pound crate is in the air with nothing holding it down, and of course it comes falling to the ground. And this gentleman survived this feat, but he experienced a number of traumatic injuries because he was trying to do all of this himself. And I thought that was an appropriate story, because a lot of times in the life of a realtor, when we're working with clients and sending out emails and taking folks on tours and working with builders, we're trying to accomplish all of this on our own strength and on ourselves, and we may end up beaten and bruised like this gentleman here with the bricks if we're not understanding of how we can work together as a team to accomplish more of a common goal. And so the challenge with this law here is, everybody on the call today and everybody watching the video, think of one amazing, great, wonderful thing that has been accomplished by one person. Try to name one great, amazing accomplishment that has only been accomplished by one person. And if you really get honest with it, every great success had multiple influences on its way to that success. Now, you might say Tiger Woods was a golfer and he did it on his own, but Tiger Woods also had a caddy going along with him. He also had a swing coach, right? He also had people that were supporting him along the way. You might look at an artist who paints a picture by themselves, but they relied on a canvas and brush and paint that were created and made by someone else. And so you begin to see that any great thing in life is not the result of one person's effort. It's actually collective effort, and there's influence and significance that leads up to these moments of breakthrough that maybe an individual sees or accomplishes, but ultimately many people came together for that accomplishment or that success to take place. And so our lives are a collective group of experiences and relationships that have brought us to where we are, and they help us achieve that success. And so we have to embrace that same mindset when we're walking out kind of our career and our lives in these communities. It might be one day that one of the salespeople, let's use, the folks down in Alabama, it might be that Rosalie and Christine in the same community, one might have an experience and experience something with a client that they share with the other, and the other person implements that on their next tour, and it ends up being the thing that leads to a sale. Or maybe someone forgets something or needs a hand, or someone needs to cover for them. And you start to see this ripple effect that you guys can have when you begin to work as a team. Now, another simple exercise: if you are sitting down at the breakfast table by yourself and you have a good idea, how many good ideas do you have? You have one. But if the team of the 5 or the 7 or the 10 of you that are here today come together and you say, everybody brings an idea to the table, how many good ideas do you have? 5, 7, 10 good ideas. So when you operate in a team capacity, you bring more to the table than just one person trying to figure it out on their own. Our organization, UPrint, is a faith and personal development organization, and it was co-founded by myself and my business partner, Kevin Adams. Now, Kevin and I are extremely different people. Kevin is more reserved. He is more introverted. He moves at a much slower pace. He is more methodical in his delivery. He is more calculated in his thinking, and he brings wisdom to the table that I don't have. But I also have things that I bring to the table. I am gifted at communicating to large groups of individuals. I tend to have more of an outgoing personality and being able to encourage people in more of an outbound sense. And so what you see is there are things that I can do that Kevin can do as well. There's things that he does that I can do as well. But when we are working in our gift set, and we complement each other in a very powerful way so that you have an organization that flows very seamlessly. Matt is kind of the microphone guy. He's out in front that connects with people and invites them into relationship, experience, mentoring, coaching, whatever. And Kevin implements that in a great way. Kevin sits in his room and he has these great ideas and he'll share them with me. And we'll flip that around and I'll begin to implement those ideas. Now, we came up with this, interestingly enough, is I was kind of like an author guy, speaker guy, and I was going down that path. But I really felt compelled that this was not just about me, it was about this organization that could shift and change culture. And so when we began to work, we saw this as we are standing back to back and we're able to see the surrounding around us. You see, you guys in your own communities and spheres, you can only see this is your periphery here. You've got, if you hold one hand up to your right and one hand up to your left, that is your periphery of view. But if you have another individual who's standing behind you, your view begins to grow. Now, if you have 5 or 6 people standing back to back in a circle, you begin to cover the entire 360 degrees around you. So when you work together as a team, not only can you accomplish more by bringing better ideas to the table, not only do your gifts begin to complement one another, but you can also see further and see more than you can see on your own. So when you begin to look at your businesses and your communities this way, you add more eyes, more ideas, more experience to the table, and ultimately that is what causes the entire team to become more significant. Now, certainly there's a lot of more laws we're going to go through in this teamwork concept, and we'll talk about the challenges. But specifically today, we want to talk about 2 things that keep us from embracing a team mentality. So we talked today about why a team mentality is important, how we begin to complement each other. The purpose of our work is to begin to employ a team and accomplish something together. The challenge is we don't do this. Why? Ultimately, it boils down to 2 reasons for me. Number 1 is ignorance. We just think that we're better off by ourselves. And that stems from a lot of potential reasons, but we kind of, go, you know what? I have always done things by myself and I have a hard time trusting people, so I'm not really interested in teamwork because I think I can do it better. And so you allow old experiences and past failures and when people have let you down to keep you from engaging in a team. But what you actually are saying in that moment is that you've never made any mistakes. And when you begin to live that way, you don't empower other people to make mistakes. And so you begin to isolate yourself and become closed off. And it ultimately boils down to ignorance. You're thinking that you know better than a collective group of people. And in the end, you'll end up like the brick mason with bruises and lacerations and broken bones because you're trying to carry the weight of a team on your own back. There is no great success without everybody on the team participating. And you can see it in situations where there is a missing link, and we'll get into that down the road. A bad apple can kind of spoil the team. But ultimately, we have to have a team, and we can't be ignorant to the fact that we don't. We think we can do it on our own. And the second thing as to why we don't engage teamwork is ultimately fear. We don't engage a team mentality because we're afraid. And underneath that fear, maybe it's our own ego. Maybe we just don't like giving anyone else the credit. Maybe at the end of the day, we're the one that wants to be on the stage getting the trophy instead of the team getting the trophy or even helping someone else to get the trophy. It could be insecurity. We don't like letting other people into our world, or we don't like telling people that we need help. And so because of that fear of being vulnerable, or the pride of not thinking we need help, we end up failing because we're unwilling to ask for it. We're unwilling to work as a team. And this is probably the greater thing. I think most people realize that in life you need other people we were created to do life in community, period. I think it's John Locke, no man is an island. And if we try to live on an island, we're going to be miserable. But so ignorance is not the number one thing per se. I think it was the first I listed, but fear is really what keeps people from engaging. Whether that's your own insecurity, your unwillingness to let anybody in, your own ego, the reality that you want to get credit for it, all of those things keep us from experiencing the dynamic of teamwork. And so today, as we wrap up this first principle in the law of teamwork, I challenge all of you to consider how you can be a more integrated and valuable part of the team. And take the time to look in the mirror and ask yourself if you are an uplifting and integral part of the team, or if you feel like you're the one that might be putting the pressure on the team and bringing the team down. Or maybe you're trying to control everything so much that you're squeezing it so tightly that you're not actually letting people step in and begin to embrace their role as a part of the team. There's a lot of different dynamics at work here, but ultimately you have to get to the place where you're willing to see and believe that significance in your life and in your career require a multitude of people. One body, many parts. This finger here needs this ear, and this eye needs my right toe. That you couldn't have the body without it. And we have to look at our teams this way and the work that we do this way. So we're going to be diving into this teamwork capacity. It's challenging because it means we have to be vulnerable. It means we have to deal with other people. But if we want to have lasting success, and if we want to begin to shift things and create a culture, then we have to come together as a team with a common idea and a common goal. And that goal is excellence, and that goal is for us to be successful as a community, as individuals, and as a collective corporate whole. If you don't have successful individuals, you can't have a successful whole. And so this is a dualistic purpose of saying we've focused for the last year on individual growth, individual focus, and now we're focusing on the entirety of the team, saying now we have to come together to accomplish something great and begin to kind of set our mark on the community, private real estate community and captive real estate, amenitized community environment, to say this is what makes us dynamic, this is what makes us different, and this is what makes us excellent. So that wraps it up for today's, the first law of teamwork, which is significance. Remember, one is too small to achieve greatness. Thank you guys. If you need anything, reach out, matt@uprint.life. My cell is 910-619-4644. Thank you guys.